Let's talk about the biggest football tournament in the world, the FIFA World Cup.
And it's happening right here in Qatar.
Yes, let's do it. My name is James Lee. Welcome to my channel 5149, where I talk business, politics, and society. And today, I want to talk about the World Cup. Specifically, how the 2022 World Cup in Qatar will be one of the most biometrically surveilled events ever, one where attendees basically will be forced to give up their right to privacy, possibly forever.
More than 1 million football fans are expected to travel to this tiny Gulf nation for what's going to be a World Cup of many firsts, including the first to be hosted in the Middle East.
Wow, 1 million people plus from all over the world will be traveling to Qatar for the World Cup, which kicks off November 20th, 2022. Maybe you're one of them, maybe not, but the message from the Qatari government is clear. There is nothing fans should be worried about.
Qatar is a welcoming and hospitable country. There's nothing that fans should be worried about.
Host country Qatar is facing growing criticism over its treatment of women, migrant workers, and the LGBTQ+ community.
The team from Australia is out with a video today that condemns the country's human rights record.
Nothing to worry about unless you're a woman, a worker, gay. Otherwise, you good. Those issues are obviously big deals, but there is one issue that I think has been talked about a lot less, possibly because it's something that is becoming rather embedded in second nature in most of our lives.
So you've got your World Cup tickets, now what? Well, to be able to enter the country, you'll definitely need an app called Hayya, which means come along. And if you take a look here, it's got all my registered details. Hayya replaces visas for all international visitors to Qatar for the 2022 World Cup. Travellers won't be able to board planes or even enter the country without the digital pass.
Once you apply for the ticket, you get the notification to apply for Hayya. So it has been processed in a way to make sure that every fan and every person in Qatar knows about Hayya and knows about how important it is for you to actually have accessibility.
So according to that report we just watched from Al Jazeera, every person entering Qatar has to download this app called Hayya, which gives you access to a bunch of services like ticketing and riding the metro in Qatar, amongst other things, I'm sure. And this is the part where I think most of us don't really bat an eye anymore, because anytime we download an app on our phones and install it, we have to accept the terms of service, which is that long document that we never read that spells out the rules, requirements, restrictions, and limitations that users must abide by in order to use that mobile application. And God knows what they are putting in there nowadays. Well, actually, we do know. According to Reclaim the Net, once downloaded, Hayya has, quote, limitless access to data, requires location access, views network connections, and can prevent your phone from switching to sleep mode. That is a little bit concerning for a mandatory app for all visitors entering the country. Also, in addition to Hayya, users also have to download a COVID tracking app called Ehteraz. It's being billed as a way for officials to monitor a potential outbreak and aid with contact tracing. Now, reading about what this app can do, I hope you guys are sitting down for this. Honestly, what I'm about to read will make the other app, Hayya, look extremely benign. Naturally, the app tracks location, which might cause you to pause, but understandable given the aim of the app is to monitor COVID spread. However, it goes so much further. Øyvind Vassassen, a security expert for Norwegian news outlet NRK, examined what the Ehteraz app requires from users, and it defies belief. Always on GPS-aided tracking, complete access to the phone, including the ability to read, erase, or modify data, remote access to connect to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, the ability to override all other apps on the phone, complete control ensuring the device can't be turned off or made to sleep. Now, I'm not a technology expert, so I don't know for sure if other apps are capable of similar things, but this is Black Mirror type stuff. Unfettered access to data from over a million, not only the million football fans, but also their friends and their acquaintances, and this is all handed over to the Qatari government. And imagine, what can a state do with this type of unprecedented access to your information? Well, maybe this gives you an idea. Authoritarian regimes are keen to track who you meet in the country and who you know. With this in mind, they'll most likely be using these apps to scrape all your contacts, check your call and SMS history, track your location through GPS and device radio interfaces like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and probably pillage your social media contacts. Plus, once you accept the terms and conditions, the apps can continue spying on you and your contacts even after you leave Qatar. This is obviously dystopian stuff, but I think the scary part is that these types of terms and conditions, I don't think are that uncommon, and it's becoming much more normalized as a part of a broader privacy creep, right? The trade-offs we engage in on a day-to-day, giving up privacy in exchange for the convenience of technology. Like I said, I know this is Qatar, but I think this is a warning sign for the rest of the world. It has also been revealed that the 1 million visiting fans will be under the watchful eye of over 15,000 surveillance cameras. And then there's the pair of apps. Qatar looks ready to radicalize these privacy-wise already amply controversial stakes, and it is not shy about it. In fact, those behind the World Cup's tech game seem to be positioning the event as something of a trailblazer in this respect. Quote, "What you see here is the future of stadium operations, a new standard, a new trend in venue operations. This is our contribution from Qatar to the world of sport." And that was Niaz Abdulrahman, this year's World Cup's chief technology officer. And that is my concern, a real concern I think we should all pay attention to. The possibility of a government, including ours, the US government, having this kind of unprecedented access to personal data and then weaponizing this data against individuals. And it's already been happening. 2020, a Wall Street Journal article sheds light on US government purchases of location data collected from apps for use in Department of Homeland Security immigration enforcement. A later investigation by the American Civil Liberties Union would detail the massive scope of this collection. It's quickly revealed that other agencies are engaging in similar practices, including the Internal Revenue Service, as reported in the Wall Street Journal, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. In addition, Vice reports that the US military is purchasing data from a Muslim prayer app. I think we might disagree on some of those uses of data. Some people might feel like, hey, that is actually a good use of this type of data, and others feel differently depending on the issue. But I think we can probably all agree on that this is a pretty scary ecosystem, where technology companies harvest our data, they monetize it for ad dollars, and then they sell it to the government, which uses it to keep citizens in line, right? With the amount of money flowing back and forth between the public sector and the private sector, big tech, they're all in this club together. And as consumers, as citizens, we get worn down. I'm sure some folks are concerned about privacy, but we have no choice, right? I have to download this app to see my favorite sports team play, or I have to go download this app to see a concert or to board this plane, and it's becoming harder and harder to opt out. So we get used to this new norm. People think about it less and less, and kind of like a frog that slowly gets boiled, poof, just like that, before we realize it, our privacy is all gone. And those are my thoughts this week. Is privacy a concern for you? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video about the World Cup's privacy hellscape, please like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell icon. And as always, thank you so much for your time today, and I'll see you next week.